With the Wendigo GL3 being available in the Warden of Nothing Nightfall this week, many people have been farming it out and trying to get their desired god rolls. I am here today to talk with you about two damage perks that I felt like needed to be talked about, and some numbers for the weapon needed to be talked about as well. For sakes of this video and making sure damage variables are limited, I chose to do the following damage test on the Templar boss in the Vault of Glass raid, and did 4 different tests out on the weapon. 2 of the damage tests were with Weaken Clear, and the 2 other damage tests were without Weaken Clear. So now that we have those details out of the way, let's get into the topic. The Wendigo GL3 can roll with many viable perks, but I believe the 2 damage perks that people are trying to go for are Full Court and Explosive Light. And I figured I should make a video telling you guys what's going to be better on the weapon. Let's first start off with the perk Full Court. Full Court works in the following way. Increased detonation damage as the projectile travels further before exploding, which basically means that the further away you are from an enemy or boss, the more damage the grenade launcher will do to that enemy. The explosive damage is 25% more, but including impact damage, the overall damage is 17% because of that. I know that sounds weird, but when you shoot a Wendigo shot at a boss or enemy, you end up seeing 2 numbers. One is the impact damage, and the other is the explosive damage. The damage multiplier starts out at 0.63% for increased explosive damage for every meter after 10 meters, and ends up capping at 50 meters for a total increase of explosive damage of 25%. But including impact damage, the overall damage is 17% because of that. I know that sounds weird, but when you shoot a Wendigo shot at a boss or enemy, you end up seeing 2 numbers. One is the impact damage, and the other is the explosive damage. When shooting a singular shot of the Wendigo GL3 with Full Court fully procced, the impact damage of the weapon is 32,875, and the explosive damage is 10,845, which gives a total damage of 43,720 per shot. When you've shot all 6 grenades in the clip, you will get a total of 262,320. And to go beyond that, since in this demonstration, I was holding 20 shots of Wendigo in total, if I were to shoot all the shots, I would get a total of 874,400 when emptying the whole clip. Now, for the sake of the season we are in currently, and the aspect that we can take advantage of the perk Weaken Clear, I wanted to show you the numbers on that as well. Since your first shot of Wendigo with Full Court fully procced is the shot that debuffs the boss because of Weaken Clear, the initial damage is 43,720 just as before. But once the debuff is on, the impact you will get is 37,807 with an explosive damage of 12,472, which is when added together totals 50,279, which makes total sense since the mod Weaken Clear is a 15% damage bonus. In the clip, I had 21 shots in the mag, but for sake on consistency, we will use the representation of 20 shots that I had before. So if I were to empty the whole clip of Wendigo, I would do a total damage amount of 1,005,580 to the boss. Now that sounds like a decent amount of damage, but let's go over to the other side of the coin and get the damage numbers for the Wendigo with Explosive Light procced. Explosive Light gives a damage increase of 44% per shot for every orb or power that you pick up. Again, in doing this damage representation, it is the same rules as before with regards to the Templar and the setup, except the spot. Since I was not using Full Court, so when shooting one shot of Wendigo GL3 at the Templar without Weaken Clear and with Explosive Light procced, I would get 40,483 for the impact damage and 5,869 for the explosive damage, which gives a total of 49,352, and all 6 shots of that with Explosive Light procced would give a total of 296,112. Now, if you wanted to reload the Wendigo and continue shooting your shots, that damage number would go down a decent amount since you don't have Explosive Light when you are shooting the weapon. Now, in this representation of damage, everything was the same except the fact that I had Weaken Clear on, since I'm able to take advantage of it right now. Just as before, the total damage I was doing with the first shot of Wendigo on the boss was 49,352, which ends up proccing my Weaken Clear, and the following shot did an impact damage of 50,006 and explosive damage of 6,750, which when added together gives us a total of 56,756. And if I were to empty the entire clip of the weapon, the damage number we would get is 333,132. Again, if you wanted to reload the weapon and empty all of your ammo, you can definitely do that, but just know that your damage number will go down by a decent amount. When it comes to raw numbers and comparing full court and explosive light, there is definitely somewhat of a skill setup. I would say when you want to use full court, because of the fact that you have to be at least 50 meters away from the boss to take full advantage of the increase in the damage to your weapon. While although I do think it's a good perk for the weapon, I don't personally see a world in which we will be standing that far away from a boss in order to do damage. That's why, for the sake of being honest with you, I would have to say that explosive light takes the victory in the head-to-head. Although the setup for taking full advantage of explosive light can be a little time consuming, there is one thing that you can take advantage of, and that's having your teammates popping their super to give you the 3 orbs of power that spawn when a super is popped. So in conclusion, I would personally recommend that if you were to go for a particular role, I would say that you should go for the Wendigo GL3 with spike nades, auto-loading holster, /clown cartridge, and explosive light in this head-to-head comparison. If you guys have any more questions about the build at all, ask away in the comment section and I'd be glad to answer any questions you have for me. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want any more Destiny 2 content, make sure to watch the YouTube shorts that I upload pretty regularly about the game. Besides that, I hope you gamers have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.